I mean, I have no idea how long this stream is going to go. Mostly on account because the predominant. Oops. Now we're fine. The predominant mood has been. Maybe your streams wouldn't crash off and you stop. Okay, it might just be a coincidence that my stream did crash beforehand because I did forget that I have to turn on the system before the capture card. But in my defense, they're really tasty. So I'm going to keep on eating fiber optic cables. I think the trick is to make sure that the cables belong to other people. Also, hi Whisper, welcome in. And welcome in Oshi. I hope that you're both having a good day. Alright, what? Oh, right. I was just thinking the other day that we're like kind of to the end. I think we have the level we're on now, Original Wasteland, and then there's a volcanic or volcano themed one after. Can I just send it? No. Yeah, there's like volcanic, and then there's like one more shorter one, and that's the first half of the game. But then there's all the levels that I've failed to 100% the first time through, and at least one of them is the boss rushes. Sure, there's probably just like hit natural planes. We missed 2. Sir? Oh, why? The day, yeah. It's been a day of all time for a while. So we got one there, but like the easiest way is like the hardest thing on the bosses is just clear no hit them. It's either you wait until you get the Morpho Knight sword, because that's honestly kind of stupid, and get good at actually dodging, or you grab the time crash hat, which is, it asks the bold question, hey, what if Crash was even dumber? Which I love it, because I love Crash Kirby. Yeah, you gotta rescue all the Waddle Doos, right? Like, aside from the fact that I think there might be something that you have to have all of them unlocked for, like, to actually beat the game. The other thing is that I would just feel horrible if I didn't, because they're too cute. Anyway. And oh my god, I was going to say, if that caused me to fail. Because all I have to do is just wait for him to fall over, and he's close. There. Remember this level, mostly from being a level where Weebu on stream the family of Waddle Dees. She did that? How dare? So it'll be a strongly worded text message when I remember to do this. It's like, how can you just leave them? They're so sad in the cage. Like I think the cage little gachapon thing that you can get, like a little standee, it just says like, no, these 3 Waddle Dees could 100% break out of this cage, but they're just too sad to try. Like they just can't. All right, there's that. I think I was really hoping that it would be anything other than that. The problem I always have with like eat 4 types of snacks, I think that's what I spent the most time on any of these levels trying to find, just because I was paranoid of like, where is it? Where I am going to check all of the places that it would not logically be. Like, get on the stairs. And then waste a lot of time or like still fail to find it. Wait, is there actually something back here? No, that's just lies. Which means, God, I think there's one that I did do a first time on stream that was like a water level for four different types of fish throughout the level, or 4 canned fish things. I went through that level like 3 times and was unable to find them. And it wasn't even hard. It was just a massive skill issue on my side. Right? Oh, just money. And also, like, I can't really complain about having to go back through the levels because I also do need cash. There's a little bit of a deficit. God, I love Spike. Just, well, honestly, like, I don't think there's a Kirby copy ability that I would say I straight up hate. They're all cute. They're all fun. So I got, oh yeah, I also got a couple Game Boy games that I got a Twitch payout. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go blow this all and stuff for stream. And it worked out pretty good. It was about the full amount of payoff for a buy 3 get 1 free deal. The only downside is that I have some bad luck, and I can't really complain because to get legitimate Game Boy games, they are a bit expensive. So you can get reproduction cartridges, which are, practically speaking, they are bootlegs. Like, that is just what they are. But they're also cheaper because they're, you know, not original Game Boy games, and thus aren't being overpriced to hell and back. So, like, if you actually want to play the games on original or original-ish hardware, because, like, there's a couple games that I got that I owned a copy. I just lost at some point. Like, I had a copy of Superstar Saga, and that one got played to hell and back. I think I got to the final boss like 7 times. It's one of those games where it's burned into my brain, like, entirely. But at some point, because, you know, I was a dumbass kid when I had that game, it got misplaced or lost or didn't survive a move or something. Or shoot, it might have even been sold because, yeah, there's always that time of, oh yeah, this is old games now and not old games fun. It's time to sell this and get it. Japanese Game Boy games are usually dirt cheap. Oh, I'm gonna have to remember that. I mean, at least half of the... Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad for a couple of games, because of the pile of games I got Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, which I am so thrilled works. That one I got earlier, but unfortunately it either got damaged or in shipping or something, or maybe it was just a bad cartridge, but it didn't work, and I didn't realize until I tried to put it up on stream, and at that point it's like, well, this order was months ago. I don't think I can, in good conscience, try and get a refund for this. I should. Oh, hey, how's it going? Should really listen for more than 2 seconds and saying Pog. Oh no, it's all right. Because on one hand, Pog, because you're here, that's always a good thing. Second of all, this is the 3 out of 4 Game Boy games that did not work, or that did work. And at least part of it is the last time I got Game Boy games, one of them also didn't work, and I really should have tested it beforehand. This explanation is solid. There's so many Japanese games and thus cheaper games is imagine the same amount of copies released in America, but all isolated to a country the size of California. That actually makes a whole lot of sense. Of like, yeah, no, they had a lot of stock because, you know, Nintendo's right there. Of course they're going to. But also, if you compare like US markets to anyone else, the US market's going to be bigger just because the US is annoyingly huge. Makes sense. But yeah, I think I'm going to pick up some rubbing alcohol when I go out grocery shopping this week and try to clean out the contacts, see if that helps and does anything, because that could be it, because the copy of Pokemon Emerald that I got does not work. That is the one that the reason I'm thinking it's the contacts and not just a bad ROM is the initial copy of Superstar Saga that I got had the same issue, where it would boot up and load for a little bit. Is there a donut? Nope, no donuts. And then nothing. I think... Oh, you can just put a snowman on the people mover. They're having a nice time, I assume. So I'm thinking it either got bonked around during transit, which is possible, and I should find I have a tri-wing screwdriver, because if you ever own a Nintendo anything and you're like, hey, I want to be able to repair this, or at least not send it out for an annoyingly long time to get fixed, like, I think even the Joy-Cons are still like, the Switch still uses tri-wing screws, but that's been Nintendo's anti-piracy measure, like, legitimately all the way through the original Game Boy. Actually, hold up. Never mind. I stand corrected. I grabbed my an old NES controller that I had swapped out the board, so for the Switch, or it is, hang on, brain isn't braining. So I have an NES controller that I got an 8BitDo kit that essentially gives it a Bluetooth USB board, so my Switch can pick it up as a Pro controller. Really nice for when the brain is completely overwhelmed and like, I just want to play old Mario games, and hopefully that'll help, because it's nice to play it on like the original. Is there like a thing? Because like, they usually give you the gun ability in isolation like that when there's like a target shoot or something. Because I feel like this happened last time, that I got 3 of the donuts, but I missed one somewhere. Maybe I have to go the wrong way the first time? There's plenty of levels and bosses that we have to redo. We'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, so I grabbed the NES controller, and that one used regular screws. So that didn't have the annoying tri-wing tamper protection. Then I grabbed my copy of Pokemon Yellow, and the Game Boy colored cartridges, at least, don't have that protection either. So I know I've definitely used the tri-wing screwdriver on the Wii. Replace the entire disk drive because first console without a lid, or at the very least the 64 had that weird little flap. I need another time crash hat. So Dust got in. Okay, so it is used on Game Boy Color. That makes sense, because I know that I've used it on DS and I think Game Boy Advance. Because I bought a couple of those things because I keep on losing them. It's pretty bad. I got one to work on my DS because the L and R buttons on my first DS Lite didn't work properly. Like, you really had to smash them for a chance of them reading your input. All right, bunch of things. I know one's in one hit, and then can probably just do that other one. And then I lost it, but I wanted to work on the Wii, so we got another one. And then I found it. I think it actually bought 3 because we bought 2 to work on the Wii so 2 people could open that up at once. And then we found the first tri-wing we got. But yeah, the use of novelty screws for... Well, there goes a no-hit. Oh, we can do it so much worse because those coconuts refresh it. I should have popped it earlier. Oh, we can at least do one thing. Hold up. Ah, no, I can't run away. Oh, massive disappointment, but that's one more Waddle Dee. No, it is nice that, at least for main... Oh. Yeah, they switched it. Because on my Pro Controller, it's just regular small screws. Like, it does make me happy that they've stopped from just clear without a copy ability. I think we can double up. I think we can no-hit. We can do a no-hit clear without a copy ability. I think I got it in me. At least I want to do all the bosses. Get all that. Oh, also, Ace, if you're still here, I don't remember if I asked how you're doing, but I hope that you're having a good night. Yeah, because like most of the actual internal parts of the controllers I've fixed, one of them just had a broken plunger that, unfortunately, because it was not mainline, it was one of my easy to use USB just plug and play, not off-brand, but like third-party Xbox controller. That one I couldn't find parts, so I grabbed like I think it was either an Xbox 360 or a PS4 controller's internals switches. Ah! So close. Hey, Stuff. How's it going? We're just talking about controller repair and stuff while trying to 100% rescue all the Waddle Dees. I have fucked up doing Tropic Woods hitless twice. So we're at least getting the clear without a copy ability. But beyond that, going okay. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, like most of the actual internals are pretty simple. Like they don't really use anything complex like springs or switches in there. The most complex repair I had was I had a GameCube controller that I couldn't get the C stick to read. And I opened it up, looked in at it, could not find any damage, closed it up, and suddenly the C stick started working. I still use that controller whenever I'm streaming GameCube games because it just works. And there's a failed Xbox-like controller that I ended up... It had a similar thing that the A button stopped poking back up after you pressed it, so it just felt like a really dead controller or control scheme. It still worked, it just didn't feel good. Couldn't find the parts, so I just rotated it. Now I think it's like the square button that doesn't work. That's a mood. I feel like most of the people I've talked to today have been very much... Oh, first race goal within 20 seconds? That's easy. I just didn't cheat hard enough last time. Like, I feel like that's a pretty prevalent mood today. There's been a lot of, I'm just glad that I got through it. 'Cause, yeah. Hopefully, tomorrow is somewhat better. Alright, just gotta cheat with both hands. Do some really good racing. Probably need to jump over more stuff. It's 20.6. You'd be quicker. This is another level that the first time through Yes. I spent so much time trying to figure out how to do the beaten however many seconds challenge. And this one I remember that you can just be good at driving and it works fine. Like, you cut some corners, you race efficiently, you jump over some stuff, and it just works. The other ones, though, you do just have to be creative with. Dang it! All right, we're going back through. There might be a shortcut that I'm missing. Gotta learn the track. So I know that they've used gaps. They use like fence gaps as shortcuts. No, it's just you legitimately got to be good. Huh. Kirby just disgorging a Mini Cooper. I remember hearing someone sum it up as like the mouthful mode is the fact that it's a true 3D game, and the physics of the current reality refuse to let him just swallow it entirely like he used to be able to. Which I love that. It's like, no, we're not letting you just eat something 3, 4, 10 times your size. You have to be rational. All right, screw you. I'm gonna stretch myself over it. Whatever. Just, I don't know. Drive safe? If that even makes sense? Wait. Oh, sweet, we got it. Now we just have to do the rest of the freaking level. Or complete missions will not. Oh, these are. I remember that it's a case of like. It's one of those games where actually doing the level isn't that long. It's long. A lot of the length comes from the fact that if you do the levels and try the challenges, that causes a bit more, not necessarily oomph, but causes them to stretch a bit. So I remember there's a couple times where I just got really good at grabbing, especially with Spike. I think there's one in the winter area where you can just kind of grab stuff and go. Like there's a designated path, which feels cathartic, you know? Oh, right, there's a boss. Well. Right. I forgot about this because the way that you do this, at least the first time, is you cheat. You can get an invincibility candy beforehand. Alright, what's in here? Oh, just a thing. Nice. This is right before it got annoying to get all those. Oh. Oh no, wrong. I forgot how that turn went. I don't know, Kirby's one of those game series that it's just, you can tell they're up to something. They've dedicated to themselves to say, like, now, this is just a weird series. We can do whatever we want. Kind of like how with Yakuza games, that after so many games in the franchise, they can just release Pirate Yakuza and people will accept that, all right, guess we're doing pirates now. Which is a good way to look at it, you know? I feel like one of the worst things that happened for games for a while is there's this era where everyone wanted immersion. Like, they wanted realism and complain like, oh, this isn't realistic. Yeah, it's not immersive. And the result was some of the most annoying to play games and brown desaturated color palettes. like the most annoying thing that, and at least easy to remember example. Wait, did I not 100%? Oh no, I didn't. There's 4 missing somewhere. And I think they're all on the boss fight. Yep, 3 are there. Hit with Ranger, defeat without hovering. Oh, sweet. Enjoy the view from top of the rock. Right, that's one that it's a couple of challenges that are easy to have happen organically. Some that are just like, I would not know how to do this unless I was told. Is this the rocket? Is it? Yes. Anyway, the speedrun part 2. All right. I was just thinking that That would be nice if there was a wheel Kirby for speedrunning this, but I'm like, wait, no. That's... The entire gimmick of wheel Kirby is in the car mouthful mode. Like, that's just what it is. Well, I'll take ice. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, right. The realistic gaming, or the desire for realism, just making everything kind of annoying. Because the place I always saw it get shoehorned in was there's always all those mods or even official difficulty modes for like Bethesda games. Like Skyrim eventually got a realistic or survival difficulty. Fallout had one. I did like New Vegas's survival mode because that made all the healing items. It gave you a reason to have all of them and made it harder to do the funniest thing that you can possibly do in a Bethesda game, which is say, screw any difficulty. I have enough stuff that I can just heal through this. You laughed how angry that retro, right? It's just chill out. You're fine. You're living in an amusement park. You don't have to be like this. Happiest place on earth, and you're spending all the time being pissed off. Although that's sort of like retro, but kind of the retro, angry, perpetual faced robot is like peak classic sci-fi. When the vision of the future had no room for any articulation because no set designer in the 1960s could make a costume that could fit a dude and also have articulate limbs. And yesterday's vision of tomorrow is always such a fun like look at what either people thought the future would be like, or what costume designers were like, we can do this on our budget, like old Star Trek sort of things. Remember I saw something for like, it was one of those 80s or 70s, the House of the Future, like this will be in everywhere. We'll have a massive computer system that, practically speaking, is horribly outdated and low tech. Like a whole yes, through the modern miracle of phone lines and dial-up internet, of early dial-up internet, you'll be able to get things from a centralized mainframe somewhere. But also, like, I don't know, it's always fun to watch because it's half, okay, that would be cool, and I'm kind of mad that we don't have this. Also half, okay, but this is a really annoying and inefficient system, and everyone would quickly tire of, like, I think the one thing in the video that I'm thinking of was how I guess in the kitchen you'll have a massive turnstile with the stove here, burners here, ovens here, pantry up and down is like that. Yeah, Crocs got that too. People behind Idiocracy didn't think they'd go anywhere. They were so wrong. Although, at least half of what I think the deal is with Crocs is from... I got a lot of family who's in, like, the nursing field. From what I've heard, they have their fans in that field, and once nurses latch on to good footwear, That shit ain't going anywhere. The two things I have learned from talking about to nurses is, one, they absolutely love good, high quality, cheap footwear that can be cleaned. Two, if they have a reason, they will sedate you. or yeah, the kitchen computer for the recipes. That's all it does. A massive thing with a screen the size of the screen bigger than my computer tower right now, 3 times as wide, and you have to load it all in cassettes bigger than a deck of cards, all for recipes. Meanwhile, I have like, oh shoot, can't believe I survived that. Meanwhile, I have like a tab on my phone's web browser that is just a bunch of recipes that I like to make. Yep, there goes no hit. Like, retro sci-fi, at least part of it is that it has a really strong aesthetic. It's simultaneously extremely dated, but also, like, it's got its charms. Yeah. Honestly, I would be somewhat tempted by, well, I almost did this. My current PC, I was looking at old cases because I wanted to do a sleeper build where you get like the old Manila 1980s IBM vibe, but you pack it full of modern useful internals. Because I love that aesthetic. It has character. And I'm much less a fan of like the modern, oh, everything's black, everything's minimal, everything's open and you can see the LEDs that, I don't know, it doesn't hold a candle to the see-through like Game Boys. Or like see-through plastic text. They picked up a bootleg of the old wind-up tin retro robots, the type that walk. That's pretty cool. Within 1 minute 30 and with no hit, that's going to be really easy for the time crash at. You know, like that sort of thing. It's like you say the old tin retro robots, and it immediately becomes clear what type you're talking about. All right, so that's it's 5 missing, and I think most of them find a cave that's safe from the wind. Beat Twin Frosty with that, so more no hits, and then clear within 130 and no hit. Now we'll do some. We'll make some progress in the story. Bounce between. Oh, hey. More ball. Case I'd love to do is decommission rack mount lab equipment, light up gauges, overbuilt switches. Oh, yes. That would be so cool. Of just all that. I don't know. It's just like there's all that stuff. So, soft spot for that robot design might be like, God, classic Lego space sets. Man, even the one thing that I have to say is that I know, practically speaking, the new Lego Star Wars sets are better. Like, even the ones that are remakes of the old classics are quote unquote improved. Like the Lego Death Star, that one set though, every time I got a Lego magazine I looked at, I'm like, I really want that. I will never get it because it's so expensive and so big, and it's just going to end up broken super quick. But it's cool. There's something about the older ones that it's 100% nostalgia. Like that's something that you do just have to acknowledge, that at least part of it is that familiarity and looking back at it all. But I really like the old designs. Like classic Lego, especially the space sets. I don't know, they're cool. They have a charm that I'm not entirely sure what it is or how to explain it. Ooh, 3 different types of ice cream. Can do that. Shame this cone doesn't count as a type of ice cream. It was ice cream before we picked it up. Yes. Let me just insert myself in this conveniently giant traffic cone shaped hole and make a bigger one. And it's just such a sense of nostalgia, and I totally get that like soft spot for those designs. I wonder if part of it is just it's like simpler. It's like, yeah, when you get a newer version of something, it looks fantastic, and I've been really enjoying the Oblivion remake for both the visuals, but the part that I've been enjoying the most about that game is oh my god, this is the exact same bullshit as the original. And speaking of old like magazines, I need to next time I'm able, because I know my family definitely has a bunch of these sort of things just hanging around. But I randomly got hit with like this thought of how because the other thing is that my family's also big for, or I'm not really sure how to describe it, but like I guess the best way is that we have a couple of carpenters around. Like Grandpa was actual general contractor, built homes and all that. One of the best pieces of information I learned is that if you're installing a roof and you want to mess with the person like right above you while installing it, what you gotta do is just casually, when they're exposed, reach up and nail like the heel of their shoe to the roof with your nailer when they're not paying attention. Super easy to do. Well, like don't hit their foot, of course, but like if there's an opening, just reach up, smack it in, and boom, their shoe is now nailed to the roof. But like, anyway, where I start with that is that growing up, we always had like the Lee Valley magazine, Woodcraft, a bunch of stuff that was just, hey, you want good quality woodworking tools? Here's a magazine for it. Like that, we sell it. Like the old Sears types of catalogs. Actually, Sears, I think including the Sears one. But it got stuck in my head earlier today that those catalogs also had a certain oddly specific type of art style to them. Like you had pictures of the products, of course, but you also, oh wait, ice might be the way to no-hit things. But you also had these like weirdly detailed watercolor paintings of, I guess it's the sort of thing that you'd see for a Americana sort of exhibit or at least for art, because it was just dudes in flannel shirts and jeans, or sometimes slacks. Because is also had the wild hammer. Hell yeah, I'll take an even stronger hammer. That sounds horribly irresponsible. But it's like always these oddly detailed when it came to the tools of, you could tell, yes, that is exactly a Craftsman 5100 table saw with a lathe in the background. Could always tell that, but the people themselves were like oddly not there. Like things got a lot wispier towards the end and kind of faded out. Like, shoot, I don't have it loaded into my stream setup now, but oh wait, I can just hit the bottom of the mic. I just changed that. I have the power. Where's the image? And that. Browse. Streaming archives. Yeah. That is huge. But it's like kind of like this vibe where for this static is becoming less, like, more transparent towards the edge. I don't know, like, I have no idea what I'm trying to explain, and I probably have to just look it up or try to find this somewhere, because I don't know, it got stuck in my head of like there is an art style directly associated with tool catalogs. And yeah. Now I have very questionable art ideas of various forms doing increasingly unsafe tool use with that. Although probably one of the few VTubers who on the list of aspiration is have a mock tool magazine. Interesting time. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Tool catalog art style. Just talking about some random memory of all the tool catalogs that were perpetually around when I was growing up. And how they have like a very specific watercolor art style that's got stuck in my head. But also welcome in. I hope that you're doing well. And of course the other thing is because my brain does not work like the average person's, I might not even be right about this. Or is it fruit ger labor? Could be anything. So I was thinking about this before stream of one of the fun things about ADHD is it is possible that I am just that I'm just wrong about a thing, that I have had times where I'm like, yes, I remember this. God, I was actually scrolling through my phone looking for a meme that I had downloaded that I ended up just grabbing a fresh copy. I don't even remember what. Oh yeah, it was they can't grab you when you're on fire. Oh, I missed something. Dang. It's probably no. Yep. Oh, with the cutter ability. Interesting. So it's very possible that I'm thinking of a combination of things, and it just got latched onto the idea of tool magazines. Right? This game's so good. It's both so cute, and they did such a good job of moving it to 3D. Also, go check out Rue. She's great. Oh, someone also the brain that isn't weird wired normally. Yeah, it's one of those things that I feel like before I realized that I had ADHD, that is just like, no, this is fine. All right, hell yeah, love to hear it, love the excitement. But then after having and realizing it, like, oh, you mean this isn't the normal human experience? Huh. It's even funnier talking to friends who don't have the neurodivergencies, because like I am explaining something that's that is excessively normal to me, and I am now realizing that this is not something that you have. Like the whole fact that I eat more on a schedule than on any actual because I'm hungry, simply because by default my body does not do a good job of saying, hey, you're hungry. Like the clearest indication is the whole, right? Like it's so weird. Like it'll just tell you that. You mean the default isn't, oh, I'm extremely nauseous now. It's also 2 p.m. and I haven't had breakfast or lunch. I know, well, mine doesn't. Also fair. Like, just the biggest thing is knowing that it happens and why is honestly kind of huge. But like the fact that, because I was thinking of like, historically speaking, there are many times where I got engrossed in something and then realized, wait, it is now, scientifically speaking, much later, and I am now dehydrated, starving, have to use the bathroom, have to shower, do all this stuff, and I have no idea where this time went. I figured out I'm basically ace. Yeah, they're pretty. Right? Like, that's another thing. I did not realize that my view towards relationships and attraction was not normal. It's like, I thought everyone was playing up for a joke. Partner doesn't get eight. Ooh, that's rough. Eating disorders. Oh yeah, eating disorders are awful. Right? Like, it's just, wait, you're serious about all this? Fortunately, I figured it out before streaming, but even then, scrolling through the average, like, blue sky speed, or blue sky feed of, like, the stereotypical VTuber sort of things, like, wait, you guys have to be joking about being this horny all the time, right? Oh my god, they're not. Yeah, wait, you what? Yeah, it turns out, oh yeah, I should probably have a trash can near the bed in case I do get in a relationship and have to, on the off chance that does cause nausea and vomiting. That turns out that is not a normal thought that a straight person has. That's so right. That is like, I've gone back and forth on like keeping it asexual in the tags for this, but at least part of why I feel like it should be there is because if you don't know that this is an option, that's why I really hate all forms of queer discrimination, because it's like, no, this is something that'll make a lot of people feel a lot better about their lives, And they aren't, because they're not allowed to know that these are options. Like, for the longest time, I just didn't know that that was okay to just not. Partner's where he's done something wrong. It's like, bro, I like your break. Yeah, like the whole attraction to someone's personality beyond anything else. That I feel that it's just if I didn't, yeah, it's the whole thing. His company makes me feel safe, right? I did not understand relationships for a long time just because it's like, wait, you mean you're not going into this with the idea of just finding someone you really like being around in every single context, and you want to hang around them more? And then I hit people with the whole, yeah, no, a good relationship starts with just being really good friends with someone. And they're like, oh, that is amazing relationship advice. What were you doing before? People are weird. I started by sending me a dad joke. Amazing way to start. Like, not even kidding. That is perfect. Ads. Be back in a second.
Standing on embers again.
Oh, good. It just says that there's like 30 seconds more on my side, and I know that ads are kind of questionable on when they start and stop for people, so I'm gonna wait till that timer's off before getting back in. Just because better safe than sorry, because God. All right. And back. Yeah. I don't know, relationships are a thing that's like. Well, that. And also a good chunk of. I remember I said this a while ago about like dating. or dating simulators, of how, yeah, that is a genre of games that is literally, I am not the target audience. Like, there is a lot that does not happen in my brain that happens for the average player of those, and I am happy that you enjoy it. Oh yeah, there's a thing back here. Hey, good luck with work. Wait, and I know if I mentioned bring up Ace Attorney or Law for a third stream in a row, there will be a giant knife sent by Ace. Like, those are probably the only types of visual novels, because I know that's not every visual novel is a dating game, but a good chunk of those are. I just like those because they're funny. Minor flare-ups, attraction are rare and far between. Oddly enough, yeah, that's another thing. I will admit that the whole reason that I have Static as a character is because I was scrolling through Twitter late at night, saw this, and I'm like, oh damn, he's hot. Clicked onto the post for the design adopt, and like, oh god, he's cheap. And impulse bought him. But it's like the closest I've gotten to what the allosexual person would consider extremely fucking horny, technical term, is, man, it'd really be nice to have like a friend. Like, man, that person's really pretty. I just like looking at him. It is the most tame and just basic stuff, and that's as far as it goes. Oh, hey, third poster. I love how you can just ignore this entire section. Do I still do it they understood. It's like, if we don't put a Waddle Dee down here, they will just skip it. Let's put a Waddle Dee down there. I feel like half of, for both video games and like tabletop, half of good game design and DMing is just how willing are you to absolutely fuck with your players? Like, are you prepared to just be mean? And if the answer is yes, it might not be a good game, but it will be funny. And after a certain point, funny is a good thing. Ooh, also the music here is great. Oh, hey, case in point. Hey, we know there's a rapidly decaying platform underneath you. Here's multiple instances where you can get sleep copy ability. We've made a minefield of useful pickups that'll heal you. Good luck. Ooh, I feel sorry for that nappy. Ah, it's cute, but it's also funny. Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's one thing that I do really appreciate about streaming in general. That it said, as a traditional late night thought that gets recycled into the morning post, is that you meet a lot of people, and because it's a mixed bag, because on one hand, you get the greater internet dickwad theory, where a little bit of anonymity means that people are free to act like absolutely as awful as they want with no real repercussions, because how are there going to be anyone? Nobody knows who anyone is. But I feel like on the other side of things, you also get a lot of freedom on the internet to talk about things that would normally be considered taboo. Like, a lot of people, from what I've heard and understand, realize that they were not straight or were able to explore an identity they wouldn't be able to otherwise, simply because on the internet nobody knows who you are, and nobody has to. Which, I guess it's just a case of you got good things and bad things from pretty much everything. Oh! Nice. I know that on one hand, I didn't realize I was ace until after the concept was introduced that, hey, this is an option and we're going to have a long entire character side quest dedicated to talking about this in Outer Worlds? Outer Worlds or Outer Wilds? It's the one that was made by the people who did Fallout New Vegas. They're just like, hey, we're gonna talk about this and like do an okay job and also give you a term to search up. Yeah, worlds. See, Weeboo, that's how you save a family from dying. That's how you do it. I forget where I was going with this. Oh, right. And then after that, like the way I was able to do any amount of research was internet. And then there's the whole fact of I feel like there is something to the idea of if you look, or like you will end up in the company of people with similar proclivities on the internet, because I have met so many ace people since I started streaming. Like, I joke oh wait, yeah, I forgot that straight people existed, but there is a shocking amount of people that I know that are ace, and it's great. Also, I appreciate how you can just kind of pile on all snowman on the conveyors, and it just takes care of itself. Except for this one where you have to do it in reverse. We almost frost. Hey, we gotta ice his butt over. We're getting there. Nothing wrong about ace people, right? It's the only thing we can attract, it seems. That's it. Just oblivious. That and the of course traditional oblivious. Wait, you're flirting with me? it's a fun space to be in. Although I can also understand why. Especially for now, it actually makes a lot of sense that I think about for a second of why for explicitly streaming spaces that you're going to have a lot of ace people coincide with each other. And that's largely, I mean, it's a simple theory. It's just that, well, we're not all going to be in LewdTubers streams. We're going to see people who do things, and of course it is a spectrum, like sex positive, sex neutral, or sex negative that cough. Should have remembered to mute. I think it's a case of like everyone's looking for something that isn't. That asexuals are largely the one group that sex sells is not necessarily a given with. That's what I'm trying to say. Very poorly, awkwardly, and dying a little bit in the middle. And maybe a little bit at the end as a treat. Yeah. Anyway, what was it doing? What was it talking about? All right. Huh? Buzzsaw? I missed one? I missed a weapon upgrade? Can't be having that. All right. What do we miss? Let's discuss. No. Cutter first half searching the oasis. Right. That's smart that if you do miss one of those blueprints and like I have no idea where this is. Huh, well that's annoying. I got all the Waddle Dees. Wait. Dang it. I remembered that there was a section where I'm like, all right, it's either this way. We got 50-50 odds of where progression is, and I picked wrong because the other way seemed more not the direction we'd have to go. And I think that's where it was. God, just launch that snake. Get out. Ow. Rude. How dare. There's cool first Waddle D. Did I not crack this open? No, I definitely did. But no, it is smart because me being nicknamed Ace was confused reading the above. Yeah. I was thinking about that, like, huh. You know, it's funny that while talking about asexuality and using the abbreviating it to Ace, that I do know that Ace is probably listening and is also probably confused. You're probably going to have to fight a lot of us, and I think we're going into the problem of who would win, one gorilla or 100 men, and it's like, who will win, Ace, my mod, or Ace, all the people in chat who do not feel sexual attraction. It's in there. Oh. Hang on. Hang on. Seeing you in chat just short fused my memory or my brain because it's like, wait, you go by Bread. I forget what the other part of the name is. I go by Bread. Speaking of confusion because of similar names. Welcome, Brielle. Hope you're doing good. All the Breads. Should refer myself as ace adjacent to like I'm most non-ace or most of the time, but not always in any kind of physical contact. No of interest to me. Hesitate calling myself ace or see how I joke around or draw. Yeah, I can understand that. Like the thing is that there's like a whole spectrum to ace, and if the label makes sense for you, go for it. If you're not, then ace adjacent's also fine. Like, it's just a matter of what makes the most sense to you and what's most comfortable. And like, honestly, I think there needs to be a few more horny or deviant aces around, just because that, like, the first one of the reasons it took me 2 looks to figure out that I was ace, because the first thought, I'm like, oh, by the definitions there, it's like you got to be 100% celibate and never have like any sort of biological reactions to stuff, which is just like not true, not necessary, because like, yeah, there's a whole spectrum. Doing well with it. It's good to hear. I'm doing okay. It's been a week of all time, and honestly, I'm glad that it's close to the weekend, because yeah. I just thought sex was weird, but I assumed, yeah, just overthinking things, like, same. Because also, it is just weird, and I do not understand everyone's obsession with it. It seems strange. Scared for sex. Yeah, I understand that, but I think you'll do well. I have confidence. First of all, it'll be nice seeing you streaming again. Second of all, yeah. Like, I'm not entirely sure how much you want me to talk about what's Saturday, so if you want to talk about what you're doing, go ahead. But I don't want to say too much, but it's going to be a fun time. I am 100% certain it's going to be better. Oh, okay, good. In that case, I'm sure your re-debut is going to do great. Like, I've seen the models and they're fucking fantastic. Like, you did a good job. Everyone's gonna love it. Wait, where am I going? Oh, right, just powering through to the end because I have everything. I'll say. I am going to steal that because that is my entire view is I have said things that people are like, how are you ace? Just because the entire concept of sex is a massive joke to me and I don't feel it's real. But I mean, it's true. And that is going to make so many people so angry, and I am so here for it. My God, I love that. What are we doing? Oh, right. Trying to upgrade the freaking cutter. I feel like there is like 5 different things that I was trying to talk. Oh, dang, I didn't want to do that. I was trying to talk about it and I remembered none of them. Man, streaming is probably the best idea that I've ever done. That'll definitely disappoint my ancestors. One thing you're good at is pissing off people casually. It's a good skill. It's a good skill. In his the organelle being consumed by an orifice. It's not wrong by all technical accounts. It's just... Yeah, do that talk. Here's the thing. There is a dry delivery is a good skill. Like, I have the sub flavor of neurodivergence and trauma that has made me look very deep into how humor works. And like, that is an effective delivery. That is good work right there. God, next ad break, I'm going to have to turn on the freaking AC because of this. It's not our fault. Everyone else is being weird about it. Skill issue on their side. Oh wait, I remember. Yeah, just scientific matter of fact. It's just great. They cannot argue. I'm gonna stick with the cutter because it's a giant fuck off saw blade. Although I also remember this one, and this is the part of the boss that made me think, oh, how are you supposed to do this without dodging? Like it's like save or suck sort of deals. All right, friend. Not friend. I love how Kirby is just... He's small, sweet... Oh, God. But also consistently a dumbass. Like, we are not dealing with the smartest curb in the drawer. Do I have to get... Wait. And we're redoing that because you have to hit all three of them in the initial phase. Reminds me, do I try to mentally engineer a circular saw throwing weapon? It's one of those weapons that shows up in games and fictions time and time again to the point that's just, yes, do it. It, like, the vibe alone is pretty great. However, it's also one of those things that trying to, that it's like, oh yeah, right. If this was possible and useful in a way that made sense, we would have already had it. Min-max cosmic power by putting intelligence to 1. Like, there's a reason that in the anime adaptation, they flat out said, yeah, this is a child. He was supposed to be asleep for a lot longer than he was. But he got woken up by Oh. Oops. We got woken up by accident, and now he's everyone else's problem. This does go with the idea of like between Kirby, Meta Knight, and DDD, they all have something that everyone else lacks. And unfortunately, I think for DDD, he has the brain cell. It might be Meta Knight, but... Ow. But I think he's a little bit too stubborn. Accidentally woke. That's fine. That's fine. Look, my view is that I have not enough mental energy to entertain quite a few conversations, so I just go with there's a certain subset of person who is absolutely miserable in all things they do. Huh. Cute wife. And if I'm living in a way that pisses off that type of person, I'm doing something right. I am fueled by spite and anger. Oh god, it's a polycule! Hang on. Hang on, if I survive this. I don't... Yeah, it's the most mentally balanced. Like, they're... Yeah, I'm adding that as a quote. Armadillo is intense. He's got hands. Polycule. That's why we have the quote bot. I need to set aside time one day. Just go through it all and like go through everything in that quote bot. Just sit down and go through like line by line, quote 1 to quote 210, and just see what's in there. Because the ones I know is recent ones like, oh god, it's a polycule. We're keeping the Bible because it's just better, which I think is the first or one of the first quotes. And there's also one about twinks ripping out people's throats, which I know that's Twilight Princess Link, simply because I'm like, I am going to get confused about who this is about later. But no, DD definitely the most balanced. Like I think it's Nightmare in Dreamland, or one of those earlier games where the plot was kicked off because DDD was actually being smart and proactive for once. It's like, yes, on one hand, if I take the Star Rod from Fountain of Dreams, no one will be able to dream. However, if I take the Star Rod, the frickin' eldritch horror that is Nightmare won't be able to destroy the world. Yeah, I'm gonna remove the Star Rod. That just makes sense. And half of the problem with Kirby is he acts before he thinks or even stops to say anything. Like there's Squeak Squad, which is infamous for being the game where he's just being a dumbass and attacks DDD over having a piece of cake stolen and accidentally causes the problem. And then there's games like Nightmare in Dreamland where if he just stopped and asked what DDD was doing, he would have all could have been avoided. Actually, what is the first quote in there? Oh, I was right. It is the Bible one. What else is in there? As far as Nightmare isn't coming back again. And how would you want... I was also thinking about this. That if I've learned one thing from a Nintendo game, is if you have enough hate in your soul, you can claw the fractured pieces of your essence back together after it's been completely annihilated by a Nintendo protagonist for round 2. Nightmare is smart. Zero is not. Zero is just completely in it for hating. What? I'm out of money again? Just weld your soul fragments back together and hate, forehead. Simple. Why haven't you done this already? Why do I have to explain this to you? Because what? There's zero. There's 0-2 a couple of times. Then there's all the bosses where it's not 0, but damn if it doesn't look like Zero. Because there's Void Termina, which we should play Star Allies. That's a cute game. It's definitely not the best Kirby game on the Switch or in recent memories. Like, it's a little bit flat, and also this game exists, so that blows it out of the water. But it's good. It's cute. It kind of feels like the clip show of games, right? Before Nightmare came back and they're working on himself all his time. Yeah, he took a moment for himself. He did some self-reflection, some self-improvement, and now he's gonna clobber that Kirby. Target, I miss. Right, Wild Bonkers with Cutter. We're gonna go back to the rival continent and do stuff there. It's a couple, just a couple, as a treat. That's a boss rush, don't want to do that. Like what? That's the only two we have for Windaria Remains. Oh, I actually really fucked up the coast. Self-reflection, self-improvement, took up boxing. Now he's ready. Yeah. Never mind the fact of everything else Kirby's been fighting. But yeah, because there are so many recurring villains for Kirby that has very explicitly been absolutely destroyed. Like, you have Mark's as a boss, then you have Mark's soul because he just hates him that much. Then you destroy Mark's soul, and not only does he come back, he's playable in Star Allies. Evidently, you just need to calm down. I think that's legitimately in the mode where you get to choose an enemy and play as them. It's legitimately just stated the equivalent of, we gave him some food and now he's chill. Like, bro just needed to eat a Snickers. That's all. Kirby used a Godzilla method of friendship on Marks. Exactly. Man. That was another thing. Maybe I should bring that back. Because there's one attack that Marks throws at you at the boss fight that's ooh. This is the fight that I have to not fall in the water. Alright, it's doable. Alright, it ain't doable. Alright, it's doable. Cutter would have been nicer. Just kicked his ass till they were friends. Which is oddly enough the Yakuza method too. There's a couple very good allies that started off as a boss fight in that game. Hell yeah. But I've been like passively thinking about stream stuff, and like there's an attack when you're fighting Marks where he just splits himself in half and summons a black hole. I think there's an idea there. I think there's something I could use. And ooh, might be a shorter stream because I just felt all my bones simultaneously. Not a good sign with that, like, tired. Man, where did that go? I think that's just there. Unfortunately, you gotta do like all the side areas because gotta find the fish. and also, like, I need cash. It's like left, middle, center, and then... and go back and see what's in the way that we didn't pick, because I would not put it past them to hide something back there. Because now we're getting onto the... wait, what game? No, that was earlier today. God, when I post something and say, like, yeah, I have no recollection of what happened on stream, I mean there's actually a couple hours of missing time there that I legitimately do not recall, because I am improvising everything in the moment, trying my best, and existing in a state of panic and whatever this is. I have no idea if saying that every time there's a whole get X of find all of X that I end up yeah, that was earlier in the stream today when we were in the Waddle Mall level. That was not earlier this week. Fascinating. I love the stairs. I know the Carby got the big, like, all the advertising leading up to this, largely because as a first mouthful mode in game and scene. But the stair ones are just so silly, like, just so big. It's just sitting there, like, so polite. Wait, did I miss something? Did I miss, like, a very obvious thing, or am I just... no, my brain's not working. That's known. That's a known fact. Get... frozen. There, now get frozen. I have no idea where this could have... where I could have missed this last one. Alright. So we're at... I think that... I want to say that the first tin of fish was earlier, and that we are now completely unequivocally out of it. Is there? Nope, that's not a hole. That's just industrial set dressing. Thought there might have been a secret path, but was not a thing. Or is there something back there? Because now this is where the paranoia kicks in. Of there's something, and I missed it during normal playthrough. So I kind of hate games that have like a massive focus on secrets that don't have them on the map. Like for a game that's old enough, like Doom, I can deal with that because that's part of the genre that there's going to be secrets, there's going to be stuff that you don't find. You're going to be playing this game years down the road and either do something by accident or see something on a forum or by talking to someone. Like that's what a lot of early secrets were meant to be. It was meant to be like, hey, you're gonna find this by talking to people. There's going to be a lot of people. You're going to find someone far more neurotic than you are, who has gone through this game with a fine-tooth comb, and you're going to get a lot of stuff from talking to other people who played this. Which I think that's something that, this might be a hot take, but You know how it's like now that a game's out for a little bit, and within a month there's all like people have cracked the game's ROM and there's data mining, like all the data miners out there finding everything they can and then some. Now, of course, I don't know if that's also true because, you know, Doom is absolutely famous for the sheer amount of modding potential, and I don't think you can mod that game unless without this, or at the very least without the skills needed to also crack open the original maps and see how they did that. I mean, in many ways, that would be the first thing that I'd do. Start trying to figure out every single thing in. Should have done to load up crap into the game while working on false. That would be funny. I do think that would be a funny thing to do because I know there's like Undertale had something in its files that is like related to Dr. Gaster, that it was like this very distorted voice clip of the secret that they wanted you to see, and then a message at the end, or maybe a text file saying, and don't go telling anyone about this, like let them find it for themselves. And then of course it got leaked online because that's what the internet is. It's just when you find something cool, you naturally want to share it with people. And in an update later, that file was removed. Like they were told not to tell anyone. They told people, and for revenge, it's not, that secret does not exist anymore. Because I simultaneously understand why, and I do think it's cool because there's things that you wouldn't see otherwise. Like, because there's an extremely similar, or maybe even the same, game engine between Armored Core 6 and Elden Ring, they were able to rip the Strider boss directly out of the Armored Core 6, put it in the land between, and say like, hey, this is how big all these bosses are to scale. This is how big the Strider is. That small thing by its foot is a giant. You can't really see the player character, which is also why the hypothetical fight of, oh, who would win, the Tarnished from Elden Ring or your character from Armored Core 6, like where everyone was saying, oh, hands down, Tarnished from Elden Ring. And like, no. We cannot stress how big and fast these armored cores are moving, and that is a lot of, you're talking mad shit for somebody who wouldn't be rendered in an armored core map. It would have to be something to come back for a Tarn. Yeah. And even then, it's like, how many times do you get one-shotted by something that you can't see before the Tarnish just gives up? Like, at what point do we have base rules? Because even if it is just no matter what, things are getting, like no matter what, the various undead heroes or Tarnish can always come back. After a certain point, we have to ask for morale, because there is the most charitable point of comparison I can give for that is that, assuming the giants are similar to MTs from armored core. That the MTs are a class of enemy that exists largely to get one tapped. Like the whole. Oh wait, I think I missed the first one. Let's see if we can backtrack. Like that whole class of enemies poses a challenge not because of the firepower they can bring or threat they can bring to an armored core. They pose a challenge because you first have. God, I'm trying to get to that guy. Like you have to make sure you're packing enough ammo to deal with all of them, and that you have enough firepower at the end for the actual boss at the end. Yeah, because the amount of firepower you can bring to bear in Armored Core is unfair. Like, let me just go through the ones that I remember. God, I need to go through my New Game Plus and New Game Plus playthroughs of Armored Core. But we have the EHB Assisted Stop, which, by the way, I have named all of my Armored Cores after various auto accidents I've had. This one was a car crash. But that one is the mech that I use explicitly for clearing the arenas and boss fights. Like, I did the Fires of Raven route first. I beat that final boss with the Assisted Stop. It's a very simple configuration. It's got a tank for an ass, as much health as I can bring onto it, and also 4 miniguns. I have the 2 arm-mounted ones and then the 2 shoulder ones. It's amazing because with that configuration, I can fire the arm-mounted ones until they overheat, and then go fire the shoulder ones until the arm ones are back, and if I really want something to not exist, I just fire all of them. And that's not even the most complicated one. Because like the aforementioned Strider boss, the biggest boss that FromSoft has ever made, period, that one, we have the EHB Death Wobble, which is just built for speed. I looked at nothing else aside from how can I make the fastest mech possible. Specifically, a variant I call the Ass Blaster, because all I do for that boss fight is I load in, I hit the main boost, I go straight forward until I'm back behind it, because at that angle, the big massive laser that is the main issue in that boss fight can't hit you anymore. So I essentially don't have to worry about taking damage because it can't. And then I just go to town on it. Mech Warrior, that's what we call an Alpha Strike. Yeah, everything at once. God, Mech Warrior 5 is another game that I've been going through. I've been enjoying that, but I don't know, I just like, that one has very good build craft in it. I enjoy that one. Because it's a little bit more, because I will admit that Armored Core very much is mechs, anime, but Mech Warrior is mechs, tanks, and it feels good. Yeah, and then like the mid-weight mech that actually, shoot, I don't remember if the buck clip named after the time I hit a deer. It was fine, I think. It was also very dark out, but it did keep running, so I'm just going with it's fine and not thinking any more about it. That one is also fun. Love building insane mechs, like throwing a large rifle on an Irby and making it barely... You don't need mobility if you have a good enough Alpha Strike, right? Like, if you can just hit it and make it blow up, it's fine. I actually noticed when I was playing Armored Core 6 that it was a little bit of a problem that all of my mechs were leaning towards heavyweight. I think I had a speed rating of around 230, which was not good. That I made a lighter mech, and I'm like, oh, this is incredible. Like, this is fun. Dodging is one thing, yes, but it just feels good to play. Now, granted, how successful that was, because, maybe not the best pilot, considering my most successful and used mech idea was just slap a tank on it for its legs and call it a day. But, God, Mech Warrior also reminds me that oops. Hang on, there's a thing here. There we go. I think the last story mission I did it was like right after the initial Atlas mech that you got trashed in the tutorial gets repaired. And like the one where you get a second oh no. That was there's not enough of these anymore. I think I missed the first one. Yes, and the starting Centurion. After the first run you get post repair, I wrecked it worse than the tutorial. I think I ended up with the legs critically damaged, one arm entirely destroyed. I think I finished out the fight with my chest lasers. Yeah, it's a mech that really feels like the vibe of what it wants you to do with it is to tank some hits and be practical. Like, it's one of those cases where it's easier to dodge than parry and fight tactically. Taken as salvage in worse shape than that, resurrected from torso. Yeah, that was about the vibe that this had. a little bit better. A leg and an arm was working, but I do think that I had returned it in worse condition than when you end the tutorial, which was just funny to me. Yeah, there's something about a good mech game, because they run the gambit of like questions about humanity and what it means to be a person and all that, to just, yeah, you're in a giant fuck off futuristic tank. Have fun. Tend to go for the legs and torso. Here's the thing. My strat is that, like, I'm sure that most everyone has heard my stages of a boss fight shtick. First, you try to outfight them. First, you try to meet them in a sane and rational take where you attempt to use your build and your skills to the fullest. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Then you try to outsmart them, where if that doesn't work, you then try to learn more about the game, retune your build. Can you fight smarter? Is there something you're missing? And if that doesn't work, you out-stupid them, where anything is fair game, and nothing is, and there's no punch below the belt far enough that will actually cause you to stop and reconsider. So so cheap shots is a starting point for me, really. Come on, get that switch. Hell yeah. Well, you're a merc. You think you're moral, but war crimes for yeah, exactly. God, that's another rant. Ads are starting soon, so I'm gonna put a note in the channel or in the chat. Yeah, I'm stupid. They can't anticipate everything, and sometimes you just have to cheese it because that's better. That rant is pinned there for after the ads are cleared, because I have a problem with Metal Gear in that all the pacifist route options, in essence, would not be a real thing, because you're either a mercenary building for the love of war, or worse, you're working for the US government. Right on time. Be back in a sec. I didn't you? All flamer charger. 80 throwing hands at 8 tons while setting your enemy on fire. Tons and can keep up. That's a Domino's pizza delivery of war crimes. I love it. Like, that sounds so conceptually horrifying. But yeah, I can see that that doesn't work. It doesn't work well in terms of survivability, but it sends a message, and that message is screw you. But right, the rant I have about why Metal Gear Solid is a little bit full of shit. And I realize I did just do the short version. But it's basically that throughout the games, there's always... those games really do kind of stress the whole, oh yes, you can either do this non-lethally or lethally, and if you fight lethally, then we will act like you did something bad. Okay, where's the door? I thought I saw a way into that Waddle Dee closure. But it's like throughout the entire series, you are either directly working for the US government in like the first game, Metal Gear Solid, you're working for the US government with an active nuclear threat by a bunch of psychopathic soldiers who have explicitly said that they live for combat and want to fight. But the games all actually that describes Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. Like, it's always in these situations where it's like, no, I can clearly see which side of this is morally wrong, and I don't really see why I shouldn't. Because they could have done, like, I don't think they ever do any sort of justification, like, yeah, and if you go lethal or loud, they'll be on you like a ton of bricks, and even if you do win a couple fights and ambushes, they'll notice that people are missing, and yeah, it's like, actually Splinter Cell did a much better job of, like, yeah, no, the more you break stealth, the more they're going to ramp up their security and armed response. Oh, you're working with exactly. They developed a bipedal nuclear threat. Like, you are not on the moral side, but also the situation, if you want to, would be understandable. Oh, I can skate over lava. That's amazing. Why didn't I realize that sooner? Like, you would be justified to go pretty intense, and if anything, it's kind of strange that your support staff is not telling you. And then there's also Metal Gear Solid 5, where you are explicitly told that you are a legendary ruthless mercenary, but also if you don't go quiet, everyone yells at you. Meanwhile, said individuals are not nice, and more often than not, situation. I don't know, it's one of those things that stealth games largely justify their difficulty by if you keep the enemies alive, you A, get the experience that's advertised, and B, kind of make the game a bit harder on yourself because, you know, it's a little bit simpler to just go intense. Yeah, Metal Gear 2, the main guy just survived and innovates on the weapons platform. Loud, quiet, if you live, you live, and there's also kind of a point to the idea of, hey, if we agree this is bad, oh, I'm not sure how I can get back there. Well, not with that attitude, I can't. Huh. What happens if I fall off? What happens if I spit? Hey, I wanted to get back up there. Wait, does it always try to... There we go. Now you have to reset. We can salvage this. Yeah, it's just a mechanism to keep the difficulty there. And I also remember hearing someone describe like Kojima's work of somebody who simultaneously knows and acknowledges that yes, war is bad and all of this is atrocity and not good, but also has a little bit of the mind that says, yeah, but planes and giant robots are, and soldiers are, and military complex is also really cool. And instead of doing anything with that, just decides, we'll do both. Which makes a bit of sense. God damn. Just, hey, here's all the mouthful modes at once. I do appreciate that about Kirby, that it starts out very approachable, and you get a good game with that difficulty. But God help you if you try to 100% it. They will not. There will be no mercy. Ow. How dare. Huh? Oh, that's the exit. Yep. Yeah, but I do think that that's also kind of a cold take that Metal Gear's bad at justifying why you should or should not go a certain route. Really amazing the evolution view of war over the centuries. In medieval time, war seemed a good thing. Now, gotta be a good war to be like. Projected in the future, it's gonna be a villain. Yeah. Well, at least part of that is that it largely depends on how efficient the war was. Because going into World War I, the opinion was largely that, oh yeah, we're going to go out for king and country, have a great adventure, and then it's like, wait, what's with these trenches? This isn't what I signed up for. Oh my God, we're just dying in droves. And then at least World War II had enough of a justification of, hey, fucked up shit's happening. We are going to be remembered as being morally right on this one. Which definitely had an impact, but yeah, World War I made the Soviet Union because of the losses. Like, that was just overall, it was terrible for everyone involved. Nobody had a good time in that war. I think as time moved on, you both got you got wars that had higher suffering at a quicker rate, and you also had a better source of media and reporting, to the point that, oh, there's a boat down there, that it became easier to see that, hey, this is not being done for good reasons. And the whole thing feels kind of pointless. Like, definitely Vietnam is a turning point where that was one that did not have a lot of support for it. And nobody was having a good time there. And between the just massive backlash and how obvious it was that it was just not one that had supportive people behind it, I think that really is what shifts a lot of the views. Oh, sweet. So I think you do have an good idea there that as history moves on, the worse the view of war in general is going to be. Oh, I am glad I picked this thing up. Ah, missed. I'm just going to park it like here, and there we go. Oh, good, a blueprint. Nice. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good time. Once again, we are on a topic that I have no idea how we got there. And just kind of, well, I mean, it is my own fault because it brought Metal Gear Solid, and that will be, I'll always get to questioning various moralities. But say what you will about Kojima. On one hand, I do think he's a little full of himself. On the other hand, he at least makes things that make you think. Even if the thought is, weird. Had my brother cut my hair. Shit. Oh, gosh, sides half again. Nice. Yeah. Kind of wish IRL I can do like nothing but a buzz cut. It's just that's the only thing that I can do with my hair. On one hand, it does make things very simple. Like no thoughts. Just put the shortest guard on there and go to town. You'll know when it's done. It's been both very cheap and very much a head empty experience. Had to do none of the thinking that most people have to. Which, yeah, overall, I can get behind. At some point, actually, most of my problems do involve overthinking, which is probably why I value being able to not have to think. Cheap and effective. You don't need to worry about anything because that's literally all that you can do. And oh my god, I thought that jump would carry me a lot further than it did. Just up and faceplant. Amazing. No, we definitely need to do a couple more of these because I know I don't have enough resources to actually upgrade Ranger again. Clipping you calling sides half so I can send to Weevil when she gets up tomorrow. Do it. That is exactly why I said it. Bully her. Also, love the giant fuck off hammer. Just pancake everything. Look, like they say that when all you have is the hammer, every problem looks like a nail. But maybe we're forgetting the fact that at a certain point, all of our problems actually are nails, and we're forgetting that they can be solved in a much simpler way. Alright. Alright, what's this nonsense? Hammer. Hammer. Man, I wish I could carry 2 hammers. That way I could hammer while I hammered. Oh, that was almost a perfect hammer flip. Is this being way too greedy and hastening my destruction? Yes. Is hitting the massive hammer flip to the point that it does most of their damage and HP in one go. Does that make me happy? Also, yes. One of my antagonists in the game is named Hammer. Operate pretty much on the principle. You can probably tell what they aren't fully fleshed don't yet. Yeah, fleshed out yet. Yeah. However, it's a good concept. Average Monster Hunter player. You know, maybe that's why I play Dual Blades. Because it's just, alright, this small, quick weapon that does a lot of bonk damage is nice. However, I would like it more if I had a second one. Honestly, just getting the general idea behind an enemy, like get the archetype down, big dude, hammer, head empty, everything looks like a nail. That's all you need. Like, at the very least, it's a starting point, which is huge. Because it's one of those cases, like, yeah, it's a stereotypical enemy. However, tropes aren't bad. Like, not necessarily. If you use them well, if you just have them for the sake of having them, then yeah, that's questionable. But it's like, all right, we got big, heavy-set hammer. That communicates that this is something with a lot of health, and this is something that'll deal a lot of damage if it connects, which is useful for reading what an enemy does at a glance. Twin antagonists are Hammer and Fisher. Man, I love that name. Also, for anything cybersecurity related, the more puns you can put in, the better. Oh shoot, I needed that. One impatient, one chill and will. Bolson inspired by types hacking, fishing, and brute force. Yeah, because like brute force, that will work. Dang it. Especially for certain types of applications, because like there are so many people who just do not know to change the password, and the most effective ways that you can go about it, either, all right, here is just a program that will put in password entries and probable answers until it succeeds. And then here's one that will talk to people, do a little bit of social engineering, and we'll just get them to tell of that. Because like those types of, hey, this is your bank, we've lost your password, could you, like, we need you to sign in, what's your password? If they didn't work, they wouldn't still send those types of emails out. This is a satisfying one for how simple it is. Especially because I think I could probably get, at the place I work at, I could probably get anyone to hand over their password if I just said like, hey, I need this for testing, could you give it to me? Well, I'll send you a request to change it later. Alright, that's a level. Any more hidden ones? Speaking of bread can DM, yeah, sure. Go ahead. I probably won't look at it till later, but you can definitely send me something. Where's it going with this? Funniest thing about the times between when I stream and don't. The first thing that atrophies is my ability to stay on topic. It's absolutely incredible. Response I made to a phishing text. Oh. That is amazing. I usually don't respond to like anything that seems scammy because I remember hearing once that, oh yeah, don't respond to or don't pick up calls from numbers that you don't know because then because even if it's like a, oh, we accidentally opened a singularity up over there. Oops. Because even if it's one of those where it's very obvious and they drop it in, or they drop or hang up in the first couple seconds, they just, in that case, they know that it's an active number and they'll keep on bothering you. And I get to use that as an excuse to why I never answer the phone if I don't know the number. But also, messing with phishing and scammers is so fun. Oh, that reminds me of one of the funniest things that happened to me. It was like probably first month I was taking streaming seriously, like actually doing it, networking and all that. And I got a art DM scammer. However, I was too new to know how common that was for streaming. So my response wasn't what it would be now, which is, oh, they're trying to sell me on something that I didn't ask for. I'm going to ignore them and block them. I just instead casually made conversation with them and was really friendly. Like, they asked if I was into it, like, maybe later. I'm too new in it. I don't know what I want. So you also stream, or you just do art for this? Like, being as friendly as I could, just nice. They didn't answer me back. I basically was so wholesome and annoying and oblivious and dense to the fact that they were trying to sell me it. They're like, this guy's a waste of time. I'm not even going to. But of course, if I did it now, I think I would just not even give him the time of day. Your personal favorite attempts to threaten me by saying my car has to. Yeah, I've gotten those too, and it's like, all right. I haven't driven there for so long, and while it's true, I have driven that road with a car. I've always used an Easy Pass, and I know. And first of all, I don't own that car anymore. So if you're going based off of license plate, good fucking luck. One of the animations I want to put in my games to have while chatting with the fisherman, realize him reeling in a fish with a chain of numbers which claims in a bank account login. That's pretty great. That I do like that one. Such a laugh with art scammers. As soon as they hear I'm on art, they shut. Yeah, that is like, oh shit. Hey Megan, how's it going? We're just talking about scammers. But no, that one is so funny when they realize it's like, no, this is not a mark. I remember, funniest way I've seen to deal with a art scammer is, or not an art scammer, just a scammer in general, is for the longest time, my mom had someone who would not stop calling them, like claiming all this shit, and eventually she got an air horn and just blared it into the phone loud enough that it had to have started some like ear bleeding or other actual pain. Never got called back afterwards. And in fact, if I ever have that issue with phone scammers, that's what I'm gonna do. Man, just finish out. Nice. Hope that went well. We're about. You know what? We're gonna find something else in there. It'll be fine. I'll have those. take toll. Yeah, so the fast pass scan, it's pointless. It's like, no, I know how much, like, I know how much this isn't a thing. And it's funny that they try, but it's also sad that the fact that they try means that somebody has fallen for it in the past, and it's one of those things like, oh, well, why do they do this? They do it because it works. It's like suckers born every minute and all that. Yeah. When players got free magic item, which on tables happen to be pretty OP, as they chose it. Nice. If I answer a scam call, I just answer with a standard FBI receipt. That's a smart one. I think I've had some. Oh wait, it's political polling. I'd be one of the worst people I could choose to keep the scammer on the line. I have knowledge of binaural beats and infrasound. I know what they do to the brain. I can medically torture them over the phone? That's messed up, but in a way that I want to learn how. Like, messed up in the best possible way. Because, like, if you're scamming, phone scammers and phishing schemes and all that, it's like a big reason why calls are largely seen as pretty much unusable. It's like, oh, nobody wants to talk on the phone, they want to text. Yeah, it's because 9 times out of 10, if you're answering a unknown number that hasn't been agreed upon beforehand, or like from something you're not expecting, it's probably going to be a scam. Like, the infrastructure is unusable because it's only used. Hey, like other tech things, infrastructure is completely unusable because it's only used to scam people out of money. Oh, right. If I cover this up, it's going to extinguish. So I gotta put it here and be quick. Well, infrasound is called hallucination with feeling of fear. Certain binaural beats make a person feel sleepy. If you really want a person, push it. Oh, that explains like all the 3DO ASMR and why that works for people. That makes the entire streamer ASMR industry make a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, that works because it's like medically proven to cause sleepiness. Neat. One got potion of clairvoyance, one got saddle of the cavalier, and one got a ring of command fire elemental. And we're being chased by the giant spiked wall. Tornado. And next vision accused is wanted dead, Zydrack, an addict of slaughter. That's a good name. Like, real 10 out of 10 naming right there. Oh, that reminds me. So, a lot of them haven't been used yet because they're very stupid, and a lot of them is just... A lot of magic items I make for D&D is just for the love of making stupid magic items. But so far, the latest one I've made, and also one of my favorites, is the pistol of, oh my god, would you shut the fuck up? All it does is, when you get interrupted by someone mid-sentence, you can invoke the titular phrase and shoot them. It casts silence on them until you finish your thought. It's all binaural beats and called memories of Visor. Not familiar with that, but you can see it. Serve himself one of the more dangerous minds on the internet. Stuff I know how to do is, yeah. Oh, ow. Did not pay attention. Yeah, it's amazing what you can learn. I think it might be in the quote box. I have no idea. But there was one time where I started describing how to make napalm. And like, well, to get napalm, you need some and why am I telling you all this? Like, I caught myself right before I did something that I really shouldn't have online. But getting like just a wide depth of information just because of curiosity, it's fun. Actually, now I'm curious because what other? Yeah, a lot of them are just a lot of the magic items I make are just like a pun. Or oh, here's another silly one. The eject button. A big button with labeled with the words eject under a clear plastic case. To use, flip the case open, press the button when under duress. When pressed, the user is flung upwards and at an angle out of whatever situation is causing them duress, as if they have taken the disengage action and were under the effects of a ring of free action. The distance is equal to the user's speed. Unfortunately, this eject button does not cover landing. Flavor text, never put me in a situation. So most of them are just really stupid jokes. Idosaur was a thing from the early 2000s. The market is using subsonic audio to get high on emulated drugs. I use it for the calming soundtrack on my version. Oh, interesting. That reminds me of like Watch Dogs virtual or digital trips things. But like, I could also see that as being really fucking useful. Because the main way that I get overstimulated is sound. For whatever reason, I'm really sensitive to a lot of things auditory. Which means when I'm really bad, it's either the entire Risk of Rain soundtrack, because that is like oddly the most calming vaporwave beats you can dissociate to, or ASMR. Like that both really works well. So like having something that useful, it's good. Oh. Wait, do I have to act? Do I think or just yeet? I think I just have to go for it. Oh, I forget I can jump normally too. You know, all my Wanted Dead missions were made one night when I couldn't sleep after an Elden Ring gameplay. Each target's creature is special. Oh, interesting. Abilities. This is a Minotaur gains health for every ad he kills in arena. Okay, that's really cool. That is, I do love that idea, and I can see the Soul's inspiration of we got a boss and we got a gimmick. Good luck. Didn't actually work because of the placebo effect, but yeah. I mean, hey, if you got a good placebo effect, and my view is that it doesn't really matter if it actually scientifically works, if there's a basis to it. If it works for you, that's the only thing that matters. Like, the most important thing is it could to anyone else be the stupidest thing of that does not sound helpful and will not work for my case. But if it works for you, it works for you, and that's all that matters in life. Because, God, life is way too complicated, and placebo effect is well documented to be like a legit thing, so yeah. It's one of those cases where it's like, where every time I get a massive headache, which I have no idea. But hey, we were speaking a lot earlier about how because of ADHD and neurodivergent nonsense, a lot of time my body just does not tell me things. I get no feedback, and one of them is headaches. It's like, do I need more water? Do I need like electrolytes or nonsense? Like, will this go away if I drink water? It will go away if I eat something salty. Yeah, basically no different than a kid thinking they're drinking beer and getting drunk despite it not actually being possible because they just believe hard enough. But right, works. It works. So all the abilities, the names are from D&D, and you just built the abilities off the names. Nice. Yeah. I should probably do a little bit of study to try to get better at actually prepping and doing combat for tabletop games. Because I suck at that. There are 2 modes of combat. It's either, oh shoot, everything this enemy has can one-shot the players, or, ah shoot, everything the players have can one-shot this enemy. So far, the best advice... Oh, deep sleep. I love this. They actually makes the sleep ability stupid useful. Because it'll fully restore... Oh. I need more cash. Alright. Grab the time crash hat, and we go do a boss fight. From personal self-testing, binaural beats can make sleepy orange. Yeah. Also, I meant magic. Oh. Yeah, Magic the Gathering as an inspiration. That would be a trip. There's some interesting cards on there. Yeah, I can see that. And like for my own stuff, it's like it's up in the air if, because sometimes I'm so overstimulated and so bad that it's like, no, I cannot listen to another human's voice. Like the sound of talking just aggravates me so much that I can't do it. Like, I can't even listen to songs with lyrics. Sometimes it helps. At least half of it is knowing that this works. This works usually, but not all the time. Ah, shoot! I actually wanted to keep those ads in there for a minute, because, yeah. Nope. There goes no hit. This is title screen. Not wrong. I think I can. If I can get the hammer ability, which I know is guaranteed halfway through because DDD drops his hammer, I just have to play really good. Which I think should be possible. I can have skills. As a treat. Yes. Is it? I was hoping there was the field abilities with the field the description that you get when you pick out of the shop here. You know, from as often as DDD has been beaten but not killed, maybe they were doing some reference. Ah! Never mind. I'm just going to try, fail, and flail at that off stream. All right, it's the coast area that I've Right, it was the amusement park boss that I wanted to go back for. All right, so freeze the mid boss. This one's just make landfall and find one. favorites are Velvagoth, Terror Eater, whose stars turn auto cast fear on all targets in range. Then gain HP back for each player currently fearing him. All right, that one's pretty good. Yeah. Everything tabletop related, I always forget that there's like people who use first party stuff for all their games, because it's like everything I've done, even if it's been first party or like official Wizards of the Coast stuff, it's also had enough of the DM's own creativity in it to the point where it's like I'd be comfortable saying that I have done homebrew and homebrew alone. Nothing else. That every time people are like mad at Wizards of the Coast or something, like, but it's D&D. You don't even need to know the rules. You just need a couple of people who kind of know what they're doing, and then you homebrew it all. Favorite voice select Voice of Hunger. When hit by a spell or damage type, becomes immune to that spell or damage type until take damage. Oh, it's a barrier change boss. That I actually really love that, because that was like stock. If not stock, then pretty standard fare for like old SNES RPGs, that there's always going to be a boss, because like for Final Fantasy especially, it was pretty common that when you go into boss fight, all of your characters unload all the magic they know. That you never do a normal attack unless things are not going well for you. And in that case, the way that they would make things interesting is they'd have a boss with a barrier that would then change according to the last thing hit. So if you... and since largely speaking, or at least in my experience, I never knew what the optimal weaknesses were, so I'd just like pick a spell at random, say like, all right, everyone do this. So if all of your spells were like fire spells, while you hit them, the first one would go off, the second or third would just be absorbed. Yeah, it's like peak cliched boss. I've had a couple D&D and tabletop things use that. It's pretty fun. Been a player, not a DM or homebrewer. I started largely as a player, but not able to do a lot of said playing. But I have homebrewed quite a lot of fuck anima from FF10. Yeah. Honestly, a lot of things with the name of anima. Fuck 'em. Okay, it's back there. How do I get there? I think I just have to slip out and swim. Another creature that gains a certain amount of HP for every magical item the players had equipped. Hardest one to get an extra attack for every time it took damage since its last. Damn. Yeah, that I had one enemy that I'm a little bit proud of, because it was just a generic robot. Actually, no. I'm trying to remember the gimmick. It's less that I was proud of the ability, more that I was proud of the roleplay for it, because I managed to make the players very much regret. Okay, it's back there. How the hell do I get there? It's not that star. Regret, because they just, when they realized that they were very algorithmic beings. One of them told him to commit and push to master. So it found a couple more, merged with them because its gimmick was its power was directly related to how many diamond-shaped robots were fused together, and I could just calculate it out. And then became a massive problem because it was pushing to master, i.e. finding the biggest ones. Oh. I think I missed that. Ah, yeah, there it is. Thanks. It had fish and everything. I just was so focused on pushing against the wall. Generic, more generic. It was literally like a diamond with an eye in it. But yeah, a lot of the things, my biggest issue is for Savage Worlds, I don't use a lot of stuff from the book, so I homebrew it a lot, and I like to use vehicle stuffs because I really like robots and mechanical things, and we get things like, oh shit, that's an anti-tank rifle. Oh shit, that's an anti-tank rifle and did all of their health. Nth Locus All, Chaos Elemental. Yes, any spell he used target with first level, one level higher than the spell was casted. Max 9th level. Not limited to spell slots or spell components. Combat attacks with a copy of any weapons he's hit by. Attacks are made with the same stats as the weapon and +2 to hit, +2 to damage. That's a nice one. God, that reminds me of the dumbest thing I've ever did that worked. So I was playing D&D and we were high enough level that we had gotten 9th level spells, and I chose Wish because I'm like, oh, there's a lot of bullshit I can do with just from the fact that this lets me use any 8th level spell. However, that by the end of the game, we were also given a special, turns out there's a whole level. So, oh yeah, I quote that so much. I quote that so much because anti-tank rifle keeps on being relevant. It just keeps on being a thing. Once it gets tough. Oh, that reminds me of the favorite enemy I've ever fought. It's not mine, it's one of my friends. It is the non-Newtonian gelatinous cube. The harder you hit it, the harder it becomes. So in order to actually hit it, you have to miss. A natural 1 is essentially a natural 20 to this thing. It was so funny, and I double critted because of this. I said like, hey, I'm going to throw a dagger, try to bounce it off of one of these cubes to hit another one. First roll was made at advantage, and I got a natural 20. Second roll, after banking it, was made at disadvantage, and I got a natural 1. The DM facepalmed. But the first story first is that there's like a list of special boons for extremely high level campaigns. One of them was simply you get a second 9th level spell slot. So I chose that. I used Wish to cast Simacrulum, or I can never pronounce it, but Simacrulum or whatever. It essentially makes a copy of yourself with all of the spell slots you had when you cast it, which means that copy had... No, wait, it was all of your spell slots from a long rest, I think. Which means it had 2 9th level spell slots, one of which I cast Wish and said, hey, it doesn't actually matter if I make a wish and get hit by the whole, oh, you can never cast Wish again with this. We'll grab Hammer. Because even if that happens, I can still cast Wish to replicate an 8th level spell, and cast Simulacrum again to get 2 more 9th level spell slots, of which I can so I just continuously casted Wish at because that was a campaign that ended rough. Like, it was me and one other dude versus the rest of the party because we had an ideological split. I basically cast a bunch of curses on the party because I'm like, I'm sorry, but this isn't character. Love you still. Casted a bunch of curses and then went in to die a glorious death. Not potential Infinite Wish combo, just straight up Infinite Wish combo. Yeah, exactly. Like, there was a point where I'm like, I have a list of horrible things that I could inflict on everyone. I'm not going to make it so we don't have to do nothing again. Like, we're going to still have the final combat, even though I could just say, no, we're not gonna. In hindsight, I shouldn't have. Yeah, it was a peasant railgun. The most fun I've ever had in D&D is, here's something that here's rules as written, abused. Hang on, I missed something. I love to make the stick of DOI as an artifact. The DOI, childhood's thing. An intellect drain to the user. Add confusion to target of any of DOI. I love it. Something I would do, cast Wish enough times and you start becoming God of the Wish spell. That would be a way to do it, honestly. Like, at least, because the DM for the definition of Wish is encouraged to make the user regret Wish. Like, hey, how do you... Oh god, we smashed his peepee. Was it harder you hit, the harder it becomes? Now a few VTubers like that. Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a marketing tactic. But no, I will also admit that the group that I regularly play with now, we're a bit special in the sense that we have had an event that we have come to we've had a point that I at least call open enrollment for dismemberment, where we found a whole list of really cool prosthetics. Missed the fact that we could just have these without losing an arm, and the DM said, like, all right, who here wants to lose a limb? Tell me the limb, tell me the prosthetic, I'll make it happen. Garby. No one would spell the DM can veto any. Yeah, there's a bit of control. Poor 8 took hammer to the 100 men versus 100 apes, but the first man has a big ass hammer. Oh, another thing that I've made that my DM has absolutely facepalmed from. I was just simply keeping track of days, like, you know, like being a good note taker because I have that reputation for the group. And what I failed to mention was I was playing Artificer. I had a alchemy jug, and every day I was using the alchemy jug to fill up a clay pot full of acid. Once I had enough, dang, I missed, for a full gallon, I'm like, all right, I did the math. We are in a town full of alchemists. I'm going to sell this for 500 gold. And by rules as written, you do have to just give this to me because it says half of the buy value is what you can sell it for without having to do anything. Full buy value is 1,000, so we have 500 gold now. I am now refilling that jug, and honestly, I'm probably going to just use the catapult spell to throw it at someone, because I want to see what happens when a gallon of acid impacts a human flesh. But you can do so much stuff with... Oh, and there's another time where we had the classic DM's conundrum of, if you stay in this town, you can get the reward you were promised, but somebody is looking for you and wants to murder you. Like, all right. So, as the rules as written state, that wealth is not, that your gold total is not a literal pile of gold coins you have on your person at all times. It can be trade goods, it can be favors, it can be letters of credit. This is the dwarven capital of the world, correct? Before we go, I am going to, when we hit the next town, I'm going to ask about go to the branch bank, ask them to send a courier over to that last town with a letter to deposit money in our bank account, and then we're just going to withdraw it over here. It's like, god damn it, this was supposed to be a conundrum. Here, we got leprosy from that armadillo. Yeah. Hurtful goblins rapidly dissolved. What do you do? His pulpy remains. I love the hammer. It's supposed to be like, its niche for Kirby has always been that it's an extremely overpowered ability, like sword, but more so. Simply because it's pretty rare outside of a copy ability like retrieval site or the few rare puzzles that need it and give you a copy trophy. It's not something that you usually find. Like, you can count the number of enemies that give you the ability on one hand. And for that, it has always been big enough that if you can do a high risk, high reward, triple charge hammer flip, you just kind of win. The power and symbol quote. See Vault 13's dead yet. Ah, Ricky, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a good game. How is l'RPG, the French RPG? Hope you had a good time. Welcome in Raiders for anyone new here. I'm Elshore Brett, Elshore from Beyond Reality, found old band Blockbuster full of retro games, and inside, this is the best thing ever. Play a lot of things, mostly retro, but sometimes a newer thing, like Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, because, God, I love this game. It's just good. Like, look at him. He's being a little freaky dude swallowing a whole amusement park ride. How can you not love him? The FRPG was quite eventful tonight. Nice. I've been between calling it an FRPG or JRPG. However, I do love the term LARPG, L''RPG, just because it's silly. That's pretty much all you need to know. Hey, if you need to raid and run, totally understand. Like, streaming is a whole lot of work, and from what I've heard about that game, it's the gut punch that you need to love this game. Hell yeah. To share. Yeah, that's true. Hammer was also like one of the things that could hammer down pegs like rock. But I don't think they have it in. They don't have it in this game, simply because it's kind of hard to translate it to 3D. Game's so French. Hell yeah. How to deal with assassins in D&D. Leave a raven with a coin in town. Someone is asking about you. The raven instruction to hand them the coin. The coin is a glyph of warning. Oh, that is up there with the theoretical Book of Boom, which is once a wizard has glyph of warding. Every day, write something in the spell book. Write something in a book. Guards it fiercely, doesn't let anyone look at it. The moment shit hits the fan, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna make it through this. I open the book. Every night for the past 3 in-game years, I have been inscribing Glyph of Warning with delayed blast fireball or just regular fireball. They're all going off at once. Yeah, I hate to do this, but it is getting late, and in interest of keeping my voice and not being too rough on it, and also just because my voice or my sleep schedule has been awful lately, I think I will have to raid out. But I appreciate the raid so much, and I appreciate everyone coming in. Hope that you have a good night, and thank you for coming by. I have no idea who to raid, actually. All right. I don't know. Look, it happens every time, and every time I say it's putting it out there that I think it's going to be an early stream, because if I say it is, the universe will prove me wrong, and that's what I'm going for. This quote is why Warforged wanted to leave a church to be sacked instead of dying for a guy he didn't believe in. To the battle, and church was damaged but saved, though town folks are mostly all dead. This person why they had to die, so we have hope and faith. Just respond, motioning the dead. Welcome to... That is good. That's a good one. I think my best D&D line is just one that makes no sense out of context, but in context, you could. It only takes like 2 hours to bake bread from scratch. But in context, it was devastating to the player. It was just... One of the players had a robot dog. The relevant information was that they also had a very close friend who, due to Magitech shenanigans, was able to use a robot dog as a proxy body and sneak out of a bad house. The kicker line was they went to one of his old workshops where there's 2 dog beds, and just mentioned yeah, that's the wrong dog bed. Completely derailed everything they did and left him just staring. For Reborn's name, legally distinct Solomon Grundy. I love that. Anyway, we're going to be annoying too. I think Sue is about to raid out, but wait, no. So we're going to raid Goopy Sue, Slime V at Alchemist Slime VTuber. They're getting close to a new model out, but they're also just great. And I want to poke them and say hi. So, see ya.